Why I believe that economic and social change requires a spiritual revolution. Because consumerist capitalism is an ideology, a religion. The blind and reckless supremacy of the individual, the overwhelming belief that most relationships are based on a zero-sum game, the focus on decadence, indulgence, and one's own ego. What else can come from economic and social models based on worshipping the worst of human qualities, greed and selfishness, other than a society fixated on themselves? This belief that all human action is based on self-interest erodes social capital, slowly destroys communities, disables empathy, and is dangerously self-reinforcing. When one's culture constantly reinforces the importance and supremacy of the self, how does one even start to evaluate the conception of community, sacrifice, and solidarity? These terms are alien. Even the supposedly classical religious amongst them slowly warp their beliefs to be able to justify their ever-increasing selfish actions. It is invasive. How can anyone hope to convince individuals so fixated on themselves to risk their own happiness for a cause greater than themselves? These individuals can barely comprehend anything beyond themselves, even after death. Classic religion is obviously not the answer. So how do we go about countering the poisonous new faith of homo-economicus? I would suggest one simple concept that changes everything, but changes nothing. One concept that allows for the harmonizing of the world's varied different faiths and cultures. One that destroys all orthodox power structures and liberates us from fear. Imagine, if you will, a massive floating ball of water. From this large ball of water, small droplets periodically detach and leave, floating away. Others return after a time to merge back into the whole. The individual droplets are you, me, all living beings for the duration of our individual lives. The ball is us. We are all part of the same whole. Our reality's purpose is to generate the illusion of separation, to allow for interactions with other entities we perceive as separate from ourselves. What we do to ourselves, so to speak. There is no more fitting judgment than being able to experience all of our own actions throughout our lifetimes, from the perspective of all of those who we have had interactions with. In our brief lifetimes, we collectively change the world for later generations. Ourselves, we literally set the conditions for our own future experiences, even if this is as different individuals. There is no us or them, only us, as varied and different as we come. Every decision we take, every power structure we create, and all our collective actions are viewed singularly in how they impact all of humanity, the entire planet as a whole, not just in our lifetime, but for all lifetimes to come, because one way or the other, you will experience all of those individual lives as well, because us is you. This single idea frames our view of our culture, religion, and daily interactions, and evaluates them in terms of their impact on the whole, as well as only to ourselves. This is the common thread that binds all living things. This removes the fear of the homo economicus, the fear that we is all that we have, with the belief that we are a vital part of something greater than ourselves, allowing us to fearlessly stand up to systems and injustices that are imposed upon us by those who would ultimately harm themselves, us, through their own ignorance. This single concept binds all those together who encourage empathy, compassion, tolerance, understanding, community, and solidarity, regardless of the techniques that individuals use to achieve these qualities, because only one's own interaction to others counts, not how one learned these desired qualities. We live in a house divided, exploited and played off of one another by a selfish few to achieve their own aims, not realizing that they are ultimately only hurting themselves. We need a force that unifies, one that inherently strengthens the concept of the social and eternal us, in addition to the all-important you, who experiences life, and counters the fear-based homo economicus, religion that focuses solely on the individual and the temporary you, to the detriment of the us. I believe that without an accompanying spiritual revolution, any attempt of economic revolution is doomed to fail. Fear is a powerful motivator, and if you honestly believe that all you have is you, You are simply too easy to threaten into submission. All the best, and take care.